Today I'm going to show you how to make a delicious Mediterranean classic. In Greece we call it Yeh-mee-STAH. In other words, stuffed vegetables. And I tell you, this is a meal prepper's dream. If you want to have a Mediterranean lunch or dinner on the go and you don't have too much time to cook during the week, well, get together on a Sunday, put it all together, and then you've got a couple to 3 days worth of stuffed vegetables ready to eat. And today's recipe is going to be approximately 315 calories per serving, 8 grams of protein, 50 grams of carbs, and roughly 7 grams of fat. A nice, well-balanced meal, and when you combine it with a protein of your choice, you got the best combination that money can buy. So let's get started. Today we're going to be using some bell peppers, green, red, and yellow, because they have a wonderful flavor. And then we're also going to get 2 large, they call them cuore di bue in Italian, and it's basically the size of a big heart. That's why they call them buffalo tomatoes. They're nice and meaty. We're going to scoop them out because they've got a lot of meat inside. We're going to blend that in with a medium grain rice. In Greece, we use Carolina rice. It's like the size of a small nail, as we say in Greece, nihaki. And this is a perfect rice specifically for the recipe that we got today. And what we're going to do is we're going to take all the vegetables, we're going to scoop all the innards out, we're going to throw away the seeds, and we're just going to keep the tomato flesh, and we're going to blend that in with the rice. We're going to throw in some onion in there. We're going to throw in lots of herbs. And let me tell you, the herbs is really what makes it ever so Greek, ever so Mediterranean. If you ever wanted to know what it smells like to be inside a Greek home, this is the recipe to do it. We're going to use some olive oil, we're going to use some dill, we're going to use some parsley, and here is the secret that's going to make people go, this is interesting. We're going to use spearmint or peppermint. Put it all together, we're going to chop it up finally, we're going to mix it in with the rice, and we're going to partially cook the rice. We're also going to throw in a few potatoes in there, and those we're also going to put together with all the vegetables inside a baking tray. We're going to put them in the oven at 180 degrees, air assisted, for about 45 minutes to an hour. And at the very last 10 minutes of the bake, we're going to crank up the heat so we can get a nice crust forming on top of the rice, so it can be a little bit of crunch. Traditionally, we use old stale bread grounded so we can kind of give that extra bit of crunch. What we want to do here, WHOMP rules, is we want to be able to minimize the amount of embellishment that we have in our food and still come out with a very tasty and filling and fulfilling meal that's really not going to break the bank, especially when you get on your scale. Okay, let's get started. This is going to be exciting, so let's WHOMP something up together. Okay, so first things first, let's prep the vegetables. Wash them, peel them, do what we got to do to them, de-seed them, and then prep them. We're going to put them in this baking tray here. Now, notice a very interesting tip. I always use aluminum foil on top of the baking tray because it minimizes the amount of time that I need to scrub the pan or the baking tray clean after I've done cooking. So we're going to put everything in here, prep everything, and we're going to turn on the oven, crank it up to 180, air assisted, and then we're going to cook everything nicely for about 45 minutes to 1 hour. We'll start with the peppers first. Wash them nicely, and we're going to use a paring knife to cut around the tops of the peppers. Next up, the onion. This is a nice big onion. We're not going to use it all, but we're going to top and tail it so we can add just enough into our rice mixture. It smells wonderful, and I promise you, this is the secret to making flavorful rice. Let's do it. Ooh, let me tell you, I can really feel the onion going into my eyes, and this is like, thankfully, it's not a very strong onion. Sweet onion is a little bit better, but I can still feel those tears coming out. Thankfully, nothing major, but here's a little trick. If you feel that the onions are too strong, just get some water, keep the water in your mouth and swallow gently. It kind of helps to dilute your tears. Somehow it works. Old wives' tale. I used to remember my grandma used to do this a lot. She'd put water in her mouth and chop the onions. We're just gonna keep on chopping here. So there we go. All right, I'm gonna need that glass of water now. Let's see if this wives' tale is going to work. Next up, we're going to put that in a bowl, get all the other vegetables now top and tailed as well, scoop the flesh out, and then we're going to get to cooking the rice. So one of my favorite vegetables when it comes to stuffed vegetables or Yeh-mee-STAH is the green pepper. I find that the green pepper has the most flavor. Not to discount the other ones, but this is always my favorite. I love flavor, and what you're gonna love about this dish is just how much flavor we're gonna put into the mixture and what it's gonna smell like when you start to bake it. The whole house is gonna smell so Greek, so Mediterranean. People are just gonna really love it. And again, this is a meal prepper's dream because we're not gonna eat all of this today, but since we're putting in that effort, we're going to make sure that we make it worthwhile. So we've got a couple days worth of food to eat for on the go. And here's the best part. After you cook it and you've eaten the first batch warm, when you put it in the refrigerator, it's just gonna taste so much better the next day when you eat it either cold or when you reheat it. That's what's wonderful about Yeh-mee-STAH. Okay, let's get back to it. Okay, now the fun part, we're gonna start chopping the herbs. This is the moment your house is just gonna start smelling wonderful. I promise you, you're gonna love this. I'm gonna start with the mint. We're gonna take those leaves off and we're gonna start chopping them finely, and that's gonna go on in a bowl on the side. Now, as I cut the tomato, just notice one thing. I am not using any garlic. This dish does not require garlic, and contrary to popular belief, we don't always use garlic in Mediterranean cuisine, let alone in Greek cuisine, because this specific meal that we are preparing is all about sweetness and aroma. Garlic sometimes is a little bit too sharp for something like that. We're going to use onions instead, and the onions are what sweeten things up. Now, traditionally, you can also add minced meat to this mixture, but when we're going strictly vegan or vegetarian, we're going to avoid putting any meat for starters. Secondly, this is the time of year when spring is just around the corner, and in Eastern Orthodox religion or Greek Orthodox religion, people also fast. So meat is typically out of the question. And in order to give that a little bit more crunch, we're going to add those carrots into the mixture. Okay, those are the tomatoes chopped and ready. Now my favorite part, the dill and the parsley. Flavors are just going to start smelling around. I can already smell the living room when we got an open plan kitchen here, and the house is just starting to burst with flavor and smells that remind me of being in a Greek home, of being back home in my own country. Does that smell wonderful? Fresh dill. Let's get back to it. Last but not least, parsley. Here you go, parsley right here. It doesn't smell like much right now, but as soon as we start to chop it, I promise you, this is the missing element to it all. Let's start with just this amount. And last but not least, we are going to take our washed potatoes and we are going to chop those up as well. We're going to chop them into fours, just like this, and then we just plop them. Now we're going to weigh our ingredients just to make sure how much we've got. Let's set the scale to 0. So we got 130 grams of dill. And we've got 323 grams of onion. We've got 314 grams of carrots. And we've got 124 grams of parsley. Okay, now the exciting part. We are going to open up our tins of tomato concentrate like this. Keep that on the side. Let's open up our can of tomato. Nice and gentle, just like you're opening up a bottle of champagne. There you go. And then we're going to pour all this stuff in there. We've got everything ready to go now. Let's turn on the heat, throw in the olive oil. We're going to start with the olive oil. First, we want to brown the tomato paste a little bit in the hot oil. You don't want to overheat the oil. And now while we've got the tomato concentrate sizzling together with the onions, we just let them cook just a little bit longer. And we got it to a medium to high heat at the moment, but the water really does a trick. It really gets all that goodness that's been stuck to the bottom of the pan. Now the flavors are mixing in together with the laurel leaf, and it's absolutely wonderful. The smell is just remarkable. This is the smell of Greece This is the smell of a Greek kitchen. Now this is where we just let it do its thing for a little bit. We keep on stirring the pot while the carrots start to absorb all the juices. And the important thing that I want to let you know here is you don't want to add too much water in here. You want to reduce this as much as you can because we don't want to have soggy stuffed vegetables. Soggy Yeh-mee-STAH just doesn't do the trick. And the amazing thing is that the rice will absorb the juices of the actual vegetables as everything cooks. So we'll have a nice firm mixture that we can put into our vegetables, and whatever's left over we can put it in the refrigerator and use it for the next bunch of vegetables that we want to serve. And it's as simple as that. That's looking gorgeous. We're going to put those canned tomatoes in now, and we're going to start reducing those a little bit more too. That's all it is to it. Now let's stir it a little bit, and then we can just keep on reducing. That is tasting really good. The amount of salt is just perfect. We've got the rice cooking, so we just need to make sure that we keep stirring it because we want it to become a little bit translucent. So what we're gonna look to see, just kind of like when you're cooking a risotto, you want to make sure that the rice is absorbing water. So we're gonna do a little bit at a time. We don't want to overcook. We just want to par cook. Let's add a little bit more water because we're going to want to add the herbs in just a moment so that they can also absorb into the rice. We want the herbs to flavor it all for us, and this is where the magic happens. Everything is going to become an amalgam of Mediterranean goodness. Back to this incredible food. The color is looking wonderful. The rice is starting to get its translucent look. So let's give a quick taste and see how al dente the rice actually is. Okay. It's still a little bit hard, but that's okay. But we don't want to overcook it because as soon as we turn the oven and put the vegetables into the oven, the rice is going to continue cooking. And we do want to have a slightly firm bite when we dig into our stuffed vegetables. We don't want to have too much of a sloppy feel when we're actually biting into our food. So I'm actually quite pleased with how things are turning out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put in those herbs and level it up some more. So let's go in with the dill. We'll use about half of it there. Let's go in with the parsley. We'll use half for now. And let's go in with the mint. And let's now fold it in. Let's lower the heat a bit. Let's fold it all gently in. Now it's smelling deliciously. Oh, does that look delicious? The smell is just remarkable. Okay, great. So now I'm quite happy with the mixture. I'm letting it cool down a little bit. I'm going to prep the area. I'm going to turn the oven on to 180 degrees Celsius, fan assisted, and then we're going to fill in the vegetables, and that's going to be roughly about 30 to 50 grams worth of rice uncooked, and then we're just going to wait 45 minutes approximately, and we're going to crack it up for another 10 minutes to get. We're going to remove the lids, we're going to crack it up and just brown the surface a little bit so it becomes a little bit crunchy, and I can't wait to actually have an early dinner tonight. And the house is just smelling remarkable. Mediterranean, Greek, lots of nostalgia flying around here, and I'm very excited, and I can't wait for you to try it as well. Okay, now I'm excited. It's time to put everything into the oven. The oven's reached temperature. We've stuffed the tomatoes, we've stuffed the peppers, we've thrown in the potatoes, we've sprinkled the last bit of olive oil on top just to get a little bit more color. We've seasoned the potatoes as well. And now it's time. We're setting the clock for 1 hour. Let's do it. Ooh, that is looking good. Now we're going to crank up the heat for 10 more minutes, get that crust built on top, and then it's time to serve and have dinner. Yes. All set. A few more minutes. ready to go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, mind the steam now. Oh yeah. Now that looks really nice. That looks wonderful. So I think I've picked out my favorite. I'm gonna go with that one right there. Now we grab some potatoes. Potatoes look really nice. Got some nice color on them. I'm very pleased with how it looks. We've got a yellow stuffed pepper. We also have some tomatoes as well, some green and some red bell peppers as well. And this in and of itself is one portion of vegetables with carbs. And you can always eat this with a portion of chicken, of beef, even fish. You can also eat it with fish. So here we go. This is a stuffed bell pepper. Yeh-mee-STAH. It tastes better when you say it in Greek, believe you me. And I'm very satisfied with how the potatoes look. The structure of the bell pepper is intact. So the potatoes have that nice sweet taste. It's absorbed the liquid from the stuffing inside. And as you can see, there's a nice crust on the top. Now we get to try. The flavors are simply amazing. There's this sweetness, there is the blend of the dill, the parsley, and the mint, which gives it that special flavor. It's not very oily, contrary to the foods that you would typically get served in a Greek taverna. There's a lot of oil, and don't forget that 1 gram of oil is 9 calories. So you want to be very, very gentle with the olive oil. They're nice and soft, easy to bite into, and the rice is well cooked. It's not al dente, but it's also not too soggy. And the crunch on top, lovely. Give that extra bit of texture. I've been waiting for this meal pretty much all afternoon. But now I have another 8 stuffed vegetables in that baking tray over there. And we're gonna serve this up for my wife as well. And she just loves this dish. And then once we're done with that, we're just gonna put these things to the side, let them cool down, put them in the refrigerator, and they're ready to eat tomorrow. And this will last a couple of days. So not only is this a meal prepper's dream, but it's a superhero food with plenty of nutrients, vitamin C, carbohydrates. It's got healthy fats in here as well, but not too much. It's a simple meal that can last a few days. So don't forget to download the recipe below. And if you like this video, watch my next recipe up here for some more Greek and Mediterranean recipes. Recipes for superheroes. Let's WHOMP it up.